So here we have Georgie. I decided to voice over this video just because there were dogs right next to us and they were very jealous of Georgie and I working. So I just decided to voice it over to get it out of the way. That way you don't have to hear me talking over a couple of dogs barking. So here I'm telling Georgie her place. So I pointed to the bed, told her place. The place command is very handy. It's very nice. Here I am telling her because she looks like she may jump off. When she is being good, I'm going to go up and praise her. She is so good at her place command. Of course, being a puppy, she is going to break here and there. If she does, I'm going to tell her, pick her up and put her back on that place command. I have about a 5 to 10 second window to pick her up and put her on that bed before you have to start over with the command. So keeping it positive, but also keeping it thorough and following through is big with the place command. So by picking her up, putting her right back on, it teaches her, I'm staying here until I get released from this command. Being on that place bed, she can do whatever she pleases as long as she stays on there. She can sit, she can lay down, stand up, spin around, do whatever she wants as long as she stays. I like to go up and praise her all the time, making sure she feels loved on that bed and isn't getting sent there for punishment in any way. She is a super good girl. She is loving it. She loves working so much. It's too funny. She loves pleasing you. She's such a great girl. So here I am telling her place, giving her a reward when she gets on. The release word is always okay for everything. There's no hand signals for the place command. Here I'm going to tell her, pick her up, put her back on there, and tell her place in a firmer tone of voice. So I use place in a firm tone, and then the release word, okay, in a higher pitched tone like that. Just super excited, making sure she knows that it's okay to come off. Here she's playing a little game, so I just tell her, pick her back up and put her on there. Breaking eye contact. It is very strong for puppies like Georgie, who are super attentive, wants to please you, to let you get that far away, especially with your back turned, because it's their instinct to follow you. So having her break almost that habit that she has to respect me and the command is hard for her, but she learns very fast. Here she's trying to scavenge for more treats on the ground, telling her place. The place command is very handy, especially in instances, say there's people coming into the home, sending her to this place command and having her kind of settle down on that bed while the people come in, especially if they're not super comfortable with dogs, having everything settled down and then offering her that release to go up and say hi once things have settled. Things like, say you're eating dinner, you don't want her begging, but you want her to be able to stay out of her kennel, having her go to that place command and just hang out there, even with a long-term treat such as a bully stick or a hoof or an elk antler. Different things like that are perfectly fine to give them on that bed. But for the purpose of this command in the training program, I'm having her do it so she learns without those things to stay content. You can also offer her crate-safe toys on there, such as rubber toys, Nylabones, different things like that also work well for that. We use a raised corunda bed for this command at the manor, only because they can decipher it from the ground. You don't want to use, say, a rug on a rug or a mat on a harder wood floor or a vinyl floor, whatever you may have, just because they can't really decipher those things. So you can use a dog bed. Some people use a bean bag, all different things. Some people even use a chair or couch. It depends on what the home has. So you can use all different things. You don't just have to use a corunda bed. Telling her place when she gets back off, telling her first, and then putting her back on, telling her place. Here I'm going to tell her good girl, give her lots of praise, and then the release word is okay. Just like that. She is such a good girl. I love working with Georgie. She's a really great girl to work with. She's very respectable. She's always makes sure she respects your boundaries. She's a very sweet girl. Another thing about the place command is it's, like I said before, it's not as structured as, say, sit stays or down stays would be. So she can do whatever she wants on that bed, just knowing that when the release word comes, that's the only time she can get off. Another thing is, eventually she will work up to being able to do this for 30 minutes up to an hour, or even longer if needed. But for right now, I like to keep it in small increments, That way she doesn't get overwhelmed by it or think of it as a negative experience. I always want her to have positive experiences with it and not think of it as a negative thing or anything along those lines. So here I'm just going to do it a couple more times, and then we'll finish up with some sits and downs, which she's doing very well with as well. She loves training. She's a really great girl and is doing very well with it. I'm very happy with how far she's come along and how much progress we can make in a week's time. She's a super great girl. So here I'm just walking all over, getting her distracted. There's also another person standing off to the side of me, so having her there as well as the dog that is with her is a very good distraction to have for Georgie, and being able to hold this command when there is other things going around. Here I'm just telling her when I think she may break, just to give her a little warning before she comes off of that bed. That way I can give her that option to not have to come off that bed if she doesn't need to. So I'm here just giving her lots and lots of praise, and then I'm giving her the release word, telling her yes, good girl, lots of positive marker words to mark the command as well. Here I'm gonna get some more treats, and then gonna ask her for a sit, telling her sit with a hand gesture up, like lifting your nose to the sky. And then down we struggled with a little bit, and typically she does great with down, but I'm also wondering it's because it was a little rainy out in this video and the ground was very wet. So here I'm just repeating it over and over, not telling her down, just using my finger. I don't want to repeat the commands over and over, else it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. So here she laid down, and then she got right back up before I was able to give her that treat. So I had her do it one more time before I give her that reward, and then lots of praise when she does it. Here she did it, and I was like, yes, good girl, lots of praise.